we are nature, and nature is us. We're not really separate from nature. We're part of nature. We should value our environment because we depend on our environment to live. We all need clean air. We all need clean water. It's just really exciting and wonderful to learn more about the area that we live in and how much it has to offer.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Green Acres and our guests. These general gardening tips and suggestions may work for you, as well as those from alternative sources. When using any garden products or tools, read and follow all label directions. And learn how to make your yard summer strong at bewatersmart.info.
The Green Acres Garden Podcast is the podcast dedicated to helping gardeners hone their growing skills while we celebrate our love of plants. So whether you're new to growing or a seasoned gardener, you're sure to learn something new. Join the fun as we have conversations with world-class growers, passionate green thumbs, and professional garden experts from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Listen every week. We'll answer questions you didn't know you had. And away we grow. Welcome one and all to the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Green Acres Garden Podcast, the home for all you green thumbs out there. I am your resident plant lover and host, Kevin Jordan. Let's talk some plants. We got a great episode this week. We're going to be talking all things gardening, growing. I'm going to give you an update of my world in the garden and much more beyond. We're going to meet up with some professional certified arborists, amongst many other things. We have a great list of events for you this week. But before we check in with that, let's check in with Austin, who's riding shotgun. How's it going there, Austin?
Hey, Kevin, I'm doing great. And welcome back to all of our listeners, all you green thumbs out there. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get into it.
Oh, we're fired up today.
Kevin, I am excited because I want to talk to you about your garden. We haven't had a little update, so I want to know, how's it looking? How's it going? You're back to school, right?
Don't remind me. Yeah, so I am back at school. School's in session. Students are showing up. I know I tease, but honestly, I love it. I'm pretty fired up for the year and what it can bring. Got a good group of students. The garden, for the most part, given all the heat we've had this summer, it looks fantastic. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it looks really good. We have so much food coming out of it right now. Pounds and pounds of cucumbers. Like I said, we grew some cantaloupe in our garden for the first time this year.
Cool.
I wasn't certain if it was going to be kind of worth the effort of putting up the fencing and have it, train it vertically. Dude, totally worth it.
Yeah?
We've already been pulled off, a dozen or more fruits that we've gotten to eat with the students. Honey rock cantaloupe, I'm telling you. The name fits it well. It looks like a rock, but it tastes like honey.
It's so good.
We pulled one off today. I swear it was warm from the sun, and I just pulled out my pocket knife and just kind of sliced it open in the garden and handed like little wedges out to the kids. Dude, one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I'm telling you, it was so
cool.
Good. The tomatoes are ripping, of course. So many bell peppers this year. I went kind of wild on the bell peppers, but I'm glad because they're looking pretty good. We're pulling green ones off. We're getting red ones. And so they're sweet, crunchy, and delicious. What I have had problem with is just, I need more support. They got so heavy.
They're that big.
I've been staking them up a little better and kind of riding, kind of making them a little more vertical.
You're flying in some supports.
I've noticed a few that were struggling with a little bit of aphid pressure.
Okay.
So I'm blasting them off. I might, give them a little horticultural soap maybe in the morning time when it's cool. But other than that, they look pretty darn good. A little bit of sun scald on some. But for the most part, looking lush. The hot peppers as well, the habaneros, the jalapenos, the serranos are kicking in full gear. And they really, actually, the heat for them, they've been loving it. But for me, I've been loving the berries. We got blackberries still coming out. We grew blueberries, and producer Greg always brings this up because he's kind of helped me with my blueberries. He wants to see how they're doing. They did good.
Yeah?
I thought with the scalding hot sun, because they are in blistering full sun, I kind of like to grow them somewhere here.
Are they sensitive
where they get
to
a little
that?
afternoon shade. It just helps because they have really fine, kind of shallow roots.
Okay.
So if they do go dry for too long, they look a little beat. And I've had that problem with blueberries at my own house, where if I don't get to them, if I don't have the irrigation on, they'll struggle. But the ones that that are on irrigation in the school, dude, they had a fantastic summer. Actually, a lot of them are putting off new growth, and I've been experimenting with a fertilizer, an organic fertilizer that is has a really low or high acidity or low pH that they love. So I've been experimenting with that, and I think it's making the difference.
Cool.
So what I'm really looking forward to is next spring and summer, hoping we get a super good crop of blueberries. But aside from that, the blackberries are thumping along. The strawberries are kind of making a comeback now that things are cooling down just a little bit. So we've got tons. I have an apple tree, Austin, in our garden right now. So if anybody's ever curious, like, hey, I got a spot, maybe I want to throw something in, I always say citrus are a great way to start with
Yeah.
your lemons, your mandarins, all those dwarfs and semi-dwarf. But I've got an apple tree that I brought home. I think it's a pink lady. Mm-hmm. Put it in kind of near my roses in a little side yard. Full blasting sun at my house. Got the drip irrigation around it. Been doing nice deep soaks through the summer. Planted it, and really like late winter, early spring. That thing is a monster already. I had to prune it several times in the summer to kind of keep directing that growth down and out so it doesn't get so, tall and lanky in its first few years. But now, dude, it's getting stocky. It's getting full, even in just this first year. Now, I didn't get any fruit, but I'm telling you, I'm getting a nice scaffold and structure to this tree. I'm super stoked on it for next summer. I think we're actually going to get a pretty decent harvest.
Can I ask you, did you know you were going to get fruit, or are you just observing that and know it's going to be okay?
It's possible to get fruit really early on in some of these fruit trees. You'll see maybe that first couple years, but typically I'll pull that off just so that way the tree can put more of that energy into just producing more branches and more structure, more leaves. I didn't get a single blossom, so I didn't even have that problem to deal with. But the tree's healthy. It's looking good. We have a very similar apple tree. I bring this up because we have an apple tree at my school orchard. We don't have many. We have 2. It's about 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. This thing has several hundred apples on this one small tree. So imagine your yard. You got just a little area. It's only 6 feet tall. It's very easy. I'm doing it Ed Livo style, where I'm bringing that thing down backyard orchard style.
It doesn't seem possible to have that much fruit on it.
It's packed. Now, I had to thin a few branches, and there's a couple I may have to support with a couple poles or whatever, just because I don't want to lose too much, or the branch. But I'm telling you, man, it is beefy and they're delicious. And what's nice is they're not even ripe yet. So our students right now, they'll come out in the garden, and I've really won them over, I think, at the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
First day, boom, they come in. I had cucumbers sliced up. I had melon ready. I had some pluots going. We had some peaches ready to rock.
Feast.
So I'm just asking them questions. Each time a student is able to give me a response or tell me about themselves a little bit, they get some fruit. And then, of course, at the end, we'll walk out, show them the orchard, and then they can just pull a piece right off the tree. The pluots. And I know you know a little bit about pluots now, and we'll get into that.
You kind of just reminded me of my little field trip there.
I am so jealess of this. Go ahead and tell me,
are you
please.
Sure?
Yeah, share.
I got to go to Zager's Genetics, and they created the pluot.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's what they do. They specialize in fruit tree genetics, and they make hybrids. And what I got to go explore was so exciting. I went into the orchard, and I was there to shoot a YouTube video.
I was so jealous.
Yeah.
I had to work with the children.
I'm sorry you couldn't make it. Next time, we'll for sure get you out there.
Oh yeah.
But this is all because I might as well share this too.
Spill the beans,
I'm not
bud.
teaching at the high school anymore. Sadly, I'm had a great experience doing that, but now I'm just full time with Green Acres, and I get to dedicate all of my energy into making this podcast great, making more video content there, and just spreading the love of plants.
Are you my boss now, Austin?
No.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
But I was out at Zager's making a YouTube video that'll come out soon, and it was such an experience. I got to walk through this orchard, and every single tree is different. It's got slightly different foliage. It's got different looking fruit on it, different colors, shapes, sizes. And I can just go pick a piece of fruit and try it. And if I don't like it, you just throw it over your shoulder and go find another one.
Which was your favorite that you tried?
The candy stripe pluot was my favorite.
I saw that video.
It was delicious. It was like extremely sweet, but not so overpowering. It tasted really juicy, like a good piece of fruit. It was just great, and beautiful color on it.
Did they say how long it takes to get like a piece of fruit to market, from the time they kind of get an idea of one to the time that it can actually be grown by me? Because I want that one.
So I'll send you the link to the video. It'll have all the details in it soon.
We got to get them on. We have to get them on for sure.
We got to interview them. So that was a great little trip I had at Zager's Genetics. That was so cool.
Austin's sending me pictures. I'm seeing him having fun in the valley. I'm in meetings or stressing it out with lesson planning or teaching or whatever. But that's cool. So congratulations, Austin.
Thank you.
Pretty cool, man. I know you were an amazing teacher, and you had a huge impact in the time you were there, but it's kind of cool to see you have like new opportunities and
I know.
different challenges.
Loving this. I've got another update for you.
Please.
And I'm going to be calling on you, and maybe listeners will be hearing about this more, but I've got in at a community garden. So
Wow,
I've got
nice.
my own plot now at a community garden, and I'm so excited because all the time I've been learning about plants on this show, I've been pretty much stuck in containers, which is not good, good or bad. It's just that's what I had
Limited,
to do.
yeah.
And I had great success with that. But now I'm excited to actually get my hands in the real earth.
How big is the plot? Is like 4x8 or something?
No, it's I need to measure it.
'Cause that'll give us a good idea of how much you can squeeze in there.
I think it's more like 12 feet long.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. A little skinny, but it's decently long.
I think you'll be surprised
I think I'll be able to
pleasantly
get
how much you can fit in there.
Yeah, I think a lot.
And there's different styles and techniques. You could go the square foot style. I know Dave Fierro loves that,
Mm-hmm.
and many other people. But I think you're gonna have some fun. And I honestly, it'll probably be easier than dealing with that extreme heat, the smaller containers, all that pavement you've got, where you're growing your
Right.
pot. So I think you're going to be successful, bud. And plus, you've been here for the last 3 years, riding with me. I think you've been learning a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I can't wait to put it into practice, but I'll definitely be calling upon you for some help with that. And I do also encourage our listeners to check out the community gardens, maybe in your area. Try to get a plot. I think it's really beneficial for the community, for the neighborhood you live in. It's just all around a really great thing and makes you closer to other people that love plants. I'm excited to do like the monthly work days with the other people in that garden and get to meet all these people and figure out what they're doing, because it's beautiful what's going on at this garden.
Sounds like another episode to
I
me,
think
buddy.
so.
That's cool. Hey, so did you bring me back any pluots from Zager Genetics by chance?
Unfortunately,
Because I
gave
brought
them
you
all
some
away.
produce.
Oh, shoot.
Did you, though? Did people
I
like
should have
it?
set some aside for you. Yeah, but it's funny because I couldn't tell them what exactly it was. They're like, what's that? I'm like, it's a pluot. And they're all pluots, and they're all different, and I can't tell you exactly what they were.
It's like XJ9523B.
Because what they do is they invite growers into that orchard, and they are looking for maybe certain sugar levels, certain colors, certain things. They find what's going to work best for them, and then they pick that out, and then they start growing it, and then they might bring it to market or do what they're going to do with it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I was there, man. Gosh, I have a great story at least I have a decent story about
Okay.
pluots. When I was in college, I was working at a nursery. I was playing football. I was having fun. But I didn't have like money. I didn't have a lot of money for food. And I remember and so I'd go to like work and just have like maybe like $2, $3. And so they had a little farmer's market called the Farmer's Wife, a little farm stand. And that's where I had my first pluot. And I went there and I'd take a couple bucks. I'd go grab a sack of fruit.
Okay.
And just for like $2.50, you can get a lot of pluots and nectarines. And then I'd eat that with like a bread, little loaf, they had $1 bread, little baguette from Labou, a little like sandwich spot. So for $1 and another $1, so I'd be eating bread and eating fruit. And man, those pluots, that's where I was won over. I was like, what are these? They're like, it's a plum and an apricot mixed together. And I'm like, that's wild.
That's two
And they
great
just
things.
tasted like juicy, fresh. It's like what candy is trying to be.
Right.
They're so good, and it's fun to be able to grow them. At the school right now, we have a 3-in-1 going. So
Cool.
early in the summer, there's a variety that goes off. Maybe it's like Flavor Supreme or something. And now we have 2 other varieties that are just popping on the same tree. One is like yellowish green on the outside.
Yeah.
And the other one is like speckled with green and red. So they look totally different, have kind of unique flavors as well. So I'm a
cool.
huge fan. So thank you to them for having you. Hopefully we can get them on. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And I'd love to hear the story.
Yeah, we'll make
of
that
how
happen.
how this all worked.
Yeah, and then I also wanted to bring up a couple more things. So last week we were at Harvest Fest.
That was a blast.
And we met with a lady there who was representing the Efi Yaw Nature Center, and she told us about an event that's coming up, and I'd like to promote it because it just seems like a cool thing.
I love that place personally. It's right here in our local area.
Yeah.
It's like a little nature reserve right in the heart of like Carmichael, I
Yeah,
believe.
by
It's
the river.
Right on the river.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. I used to go there during college, and I would do research out there for some of my
really?
science classes. A great place to go walk. Nature centers are awesome. So if any of our listeners don't live here, don't worry. I'm sure you have a nature center, hopefully near you. But the FEA, dude, amazing place. And what I love about it is when they do plantings and things, they try to do a lot with natives. And so that the native plant lover in me really appreciates what they're trying to do out there as well.
And it's really good for kids too. So
Oh,
if you've
awesome.
got a family, you want to, hang out, do something fun on a weekend, check this place out, but also check out this event. But we'll go ahead and meet Carrie and let her talk about it. So this is a little blast from last week. I really just wanted to give this a moment to shine. So this is Carrie from the Efi Yaw Nature Center. Let's check it out.
My name's Carrie. I work for FEA Nature Center, and we have a booth out here every year. We have a table. We do nature education. So one of our mottos is that we bring people to nature and nature to people. We go into school classrooms, and we also bring schools out to the nature center to do field trips. We have summer camps, which are just now winding up. We have tons of different activities, and we're ramping up our programming for adults too. So we have a book club for adults on the fourth Sunday of every month at 11. We have a Tiny Tots Tuesdays program. I think we're renaming it the Mighty Acorns Tuesday program. We have activities for the public every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays at 10:30. And we have a little nature center museum.
I've been there. It's beautiful.
Thank you. We're getting ready to do a lot of renovations, so it's a very exciting time for us.
Well, I'm also here to talk about, we want to promote your Nature Fest.
Wonderful. We are so excited about Nature Fest. So we have it every year, and this year it's on October 6th. Yes.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's the quiz for me. And we have tons of vendors come in, so we'll have our animals out. Other vendors, exhibitors bring rescue animals or art activities, or we ask every exhibitor to bring an interactive, family-friendly activity. We have cultural exhibits and displays. There'll be somebody teaching basket weaving and somebody teaching how to make abalone shell necklaces, and we'll have little shows on our stage. Mad Science is coming out, and so is Wild Things. And then it's just going to be a really fun day.
It sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
I want to bring my son out there. He's 3. You think it'd be a good time?
That's perfect, and he's the perfect age for the Mighty Acorns program, so I'll be sure to grab you a
for sure. He can be I think he'll make a great Mighty Acorn.
A great Mighty Acorn. Whoa! So for those who are listening and they can't see why I just said whoa, it's because it's quite warm out here right now.
Your snake's getting a little
and
loose.
He is very excited about that. This is his favorite temperature. So every now and then he curls up on my arm quite nicely and is very relaxed. But since it's warmer right now, he's like, woohoo! And he'll decide to just take off, and I have to really keep
it's like
track of
holding
him.
a kitten. No, Carrie, why do you think it's important people learn about nature?
Well, we are nature, and nature is us. We're not really separate from nature. We're part of nature. We depend on it. Even for the very most selfish reasons, we should value our environment because we depend on our environment to live. We all need clean air. We all need clean water. In addition to helping you be motivated to protect the world that you live in, that you're dependent on for your own health and safety and sanity, it's just delightful. It's just really exciting and wonderful to learn more about the area that we live in and how much it has to offer.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we hope you have a great event.
All right, we are back. Big thank you to Carrie for talking to us briefly at the Harvest Day and sharing your love for plants and animals. She was sitting there with a snake on her the whole time.
That made it for an interesting interview, for sure.
You've never interviewed anyone holding a snake before.
It brought out my inner Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
I was having some dreams right there.
Yeah.
It was cool. She was fantastic, and I loved her quote, "We are nature." Mm-hmm. And that kind of sticks true for this show. People who love gardening and growing and cultivating, I think it's just our way of kind of communicating and being part of it and keeping that connection going strong. She was sweet, and I love their event, Nature Fest, October 6th, 10 to 2 p.m. I'm going to probably hopefully try to bring my kid out there at some point and have some fun, because I know they have a lot of activities and things going on, but don't just go out there that day. They have a lot going on throughout the year, and what's cool about a place like the FEA Nature Center is that it changes through each season. Mm-hmm. So if you're going out there, in October, it's going to look a certain way. You go back in December, it's going to look a little bit different. So it's kind of fun to see those seasonal changes. And I've seen some pretty incredible wildlife out there. So I love it. It kind of going to places like that and seeing kind of nature when it's kind of raw and it's, the way it's it gets me excited for kind of trying to emulate some of that beauty in our own landscapes. And so if you're ever looking for maybe some motivation or inspiration, just head out into nature. It's
There we
like
go.
you will find it for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that. And I did also want to circle back to one other thing. We ran into another friend of the show out there at Harvest Day, and it led me to kind of explore little, something that I hadn't really known about before, which is really cool. So we talked to Ann Finkner about trees, and she's a big proponent for building an urban forest, a big tree canopy, right? Because it has so many benefits. And we totally agree with that and push that as well. We love trees.
And for those who don't know, Ann is like a well-renowned, well-respected certified arborist and tree expert extraordinaire. And just an all-around plant lover and cool person.
Oh, yeah. She's a blast to talk to. But she brought up this research study that's ongoing. It's like a 20-year study between UC Davis and the U.S. Forest Service. And what they're doing is they're trying to project out into the future and find out what our climate's going to be like in 100 years. And they're predicting, things are going to get warmer, things are going to change, and we need to build a strong urban forest that's going to support,
that'll be resilient.
Resilient, exactly,
sure.
And do what we need it to do, even in those, slightly different times. So they've been pulling trees from different climates and seeing how they're doing in our area.
Let me guess, they were looking for trees from other hot, dry climates?
Yeah. They pulled stuff from Texas, from Mexico, the southern United States, and they're seeing how well they do. And I got really excited because some of these trees are familiar, some of them are not. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to this article in the episode description so you guys can all check it out. But I wanted to share that some of these trees I'm familiar with, like the Palo Verde tree.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's a great one.
It's such a cool looking tree.
Green bark, dude.
I know. What is going on there? But this is an example of a tree that they're saying we need to start going more towards.
Yeah, the Parkinsonia, the Palo Verde, incredible tree, super beautiful, blossoms, very water-wise or climate adapted, whatever you want to call it. It's great. If you live somewhere where it's hot and dry, but you want a tree and you want it to look beautiful, that's a great option.
Nice.
For sure.
And then you guys when we talked to them, you also discussed oaks and elms and other
we
trees.
were geeking out on how much we all loved oaks because we talked with Ann and her good friend Lori Murphy, and they're both arborists and just tree lovers. And so it was fun to geek out on their love of the quercus. We got quirky with the quercus.
Quirky with the quercus. So I cut together a little snippet of our talk with them from Harvest Day. So let's go ahead and jump into that, and here we go.
I'm here with longtime friend of the podcast and just all-around great person.
Kevin, you're
as
sweet.
As well as a very knowledgeable plant person, tree.
And Finkner.
Yep, and Finkner.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Ann.
Thank you so much.
How have you been?
I've been great. It's so good to see you again.
Oh, likewise. And we're here with your good friend, Lori Murphy.
Yes, Lori Murphy. I've been with Davey Resource Group for 15 years now. And before that, I worked with Ann at the Sacramento Tree Foundation.
Another wonderful organization.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I get to oversee, a lot of good stuff and help people understand about their trees, how to take care of them.
Why are trees important to us?
Oh my gosh, we need their shade, we need their environmental benefits. They just add beauty.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like to breathe.
Thank a tree.
That felt good. Yeah.
That's right. So, we need trees. And unfortunately, trees get taken out, they get old, and we just need to make sure that people replant trees and understand the benefits of them. As long as we keep replanting and replenishing and taking care of what we have, that's the important thing. And if there's room to plant trees, then maybe we should be questioning, should we be planting trees there? And we should also be overlooking the development when
That's
people
right.
are
Planning for our future.
Yes.
Kevin, it takes a tree about 20 years to reach the point where it's providing the benefits that we intend, right? 20 years. Think about your lifespan, where you were 20 years ago.
It took about that long for me to become a functioning human being.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
there you go. Yeah.
There you go. So planning for the future urban forest is so very important. In fact, we now understand, science has really brought this forward. Even the U.S. government now understands the importance of not just trees, but the urban forest as a whole. For
our psychology.
For feeling better,
Yeah.
for cooling our communities. It is a key strategy in climate resiliency.
Now, we always talk about on our podcast, and when people are talking about planting for plants and gardening, right plant, right place.
For the right reason.
For the right reason.
For the right reason.
What are some of the right trees for our region? Some of that your go-tos. Me, I'm in love with oak trees. I love
it's a native tree.
I love a good valley oak.
There you go. There you go.
Amongst many others.
Yeah.
But what are some of like the go-to trees that are climate adapted to our region that tend to do well in an urban setting?
That's an excellent question because the U.S. Forest Service did a trial out at was it UC Davis?
That's correct,
I believe
yes.
so. And they trialed a bunch of like southern trees, Mexico, the Southwest, and they came up with some great options. And the nurseries are now growing them. These are available trees, things like the that elm tree, the emerald sunshine elm, the Palo Verde.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I love a good Palo Verde.
Mesquite. There's some beautiful oaks that are native to that area that we don't currently grow here, but they are being grown more and more by the nurseries.
In terms of planting, think about how our climate here in Sacramento has changed. Good luck finding a Japanese birch anywhere in town. Why? Because they need more moisture. They need cooler roots. As we plan and plant for the future, we need to look at trees that are resilient, that can handle the heat. Right?
Yeah.
They can handle temperatures that are hotter longer. And of course, the right tree in the right place. A more dense canopy. Right behind you is a fantastic valley oak, Kevin. It just towers. It's majestic.
Quercus lobata.
Yes, that Quercus lobata has probably been there, I'm guessing, for maybe even 100 years. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So do we have the land? Do we have the space to grow majestic trees? There's resources available. An ISA certified arborist can help guide the selection of the right tree in the right place for the right reason. Because it's really an investment not only in your property, but it's an investment for us all.
Yeah.
You touched on the mental health aspect. It reduces our cortisol level. When we're calmer, we're happier. You just took a nice deep breath, right? Just even thinking
Feels
about
good.
this feels good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's been demonstrated that when there's trees, when there's greenery at schools, not only do kids' test scores go up, they go up exponentially.
Yeah.
Trees are so good on so many reasons throughout our community. In parking lots, at schools, at our homes, in public places. That's where we really want to see the larger canopied trees, the oaks that you hold so dear, the sycamores, the ginkgos, other trees that have the ability to grow we need to think generationally.
Certainly.
Think out 7 generations.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Trees are the answer.
There you go.
All right, and so before I leave you, can you give me the skinny on the skinny garden? Is it alive?
Oh, is it alive, my friend? It's been thriving it's vibrant, and we're celebrating its 10th anniversary
All right.
as a public garden. The skinniest garden in the world is thriving on V Street.
Are you going to post it on your Instagrams or something? This needs to be put out to the world.
Yeah, you can follow the Skinny Garden. It's a capital T, the Skinny Garden on Facebook.
There we go.
I post whenever I think about it. What's blooming now, what birds are flying through now, I saw a cricket the other day. When's the last time you saw a cricket? How exciting is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, check it out. See if you like it. Again, I couldn't say enough things about volunteering. The Sacramento Tree Foundation, Soil-Born Farms.
Yeah.
There's just so
Love
many
them.
opportunities up in Roseville Urban Forest Foundation. In the winter, there's all sorts of opportunities to help community groups plant and grow trees on public lands. Go online, check it out. The California Urban Forest Council, another fantastic resource.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Well, Lori, Ann, thank you both so much, and happy growing to you all.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Big thank you to Ann and Lori. It was a blast to see you both. And thanks for promoting trees and doing all the great work that you do. Kevin, I want to go to you before we leave for the week. I want to know what we should be thinking about in our garden this week.
For me, I'm pulling out plants that aren't producing. So we had some beans that kind of reached their maturity. Been pulling those out. I've been pruning and clipping a lot of things, cleaning up some of my tomatoes so they're a little bit healthier. Actually, some of them needed some more support. So I'm stringing them up a little bit, clipping them, giving them nice deep waterings. I've added a little bit over organic fertilizer. Like our good friend Kevin Marini, I also like fish. I love liquid fish and fish emulsion. Yeah. Watering, kind of mixing it in, doing a light dilution. our plants are loving it. So for me, I've been feeding the plants, clipping them back a little bit as needed. I've noticed, like I
I
said,
actually have a really hilarious clip of him saying that.
really.
Yeah. So, let me pull that up. We could hear Kevin also share his love of fish.
I knew it.
I really feel strongly about liquid fish. I love pulverized and liquefied fish as a fertilizer, which is a little strange, I know.
That does not surprise me that Kevin Marini has such an affinity for liquid fish.
Yeah.
Hey, ground up fish emulsion.
It's effective, huh?
It's amazing nutrient and fertilizer for your gardens. But one thing I've noticed too is a little bit of aphid pressure coming in, so I'm taking care of that. But the one big task that I've kind of been putting off, I probably should have done it maybe even a little sooner in the summer. I've been pruning back my fruit trees a bit vertically. I've been trying to squat down their height. They've had a big, long, summer of getting drip irrigation, so they've had plenty of water, and they've got good soil, so they've been growing wild through the summer. I'm talking my peaches, my nectarines, even the apple trees, my pear tree. You'll notice they all have a different kind of growth habit, but a lot of them tend to really stretch vertically as those limbs kind of grow. So I've been trying to bring them back to kind of force that growth outward and bring down the height of that canopy. Just like I got Ed Livo, the backyard orchard specialist, in my head, to,
Right.
bring down that height. You don't want them to have to get on a ladder to harvest, especially for the school garden. For us, we don't need them huge. In relationship to anybody listening who might be a home gardener, it's nice to kind of imagine a big, massive fruit tree that's 25 feet tall and just packed full of apples or something.
But it
or
makes
oranges.
sense. That's just not right.
You're never going to get to
Yeah.
all of them. You're going to have a lot of fruit drop, a lot of waste. So for me, bringing them down to size, making it a little bit more manageable right now is a great time to do that. In the past, I think when I first started cultivating, I really rely heavily on winter pruning to do all this. But I've noticed you can have a lot of beneficial impact and positive results by doing this right now in the summer to bring
Cool.
down that height and kind of reshape those trees a little bit. I can get in there in the winter and do all my other pruning as needed, but for now, it's a great opportunity to bring down the height. I have so much to do. I hope folks that are listening are staying active in their garden. We have an amazing lineup for next week that I think will do well for kind of looking towards the future for what we should be doing in our gardens. I'm talking fall planting, fall
I know.
gardening.
I'm itching for this because it's close. I've got a new
Yeah.
garden plot that I want to do
you
all
could
this
start
in.
pretty soon, actually.
But you're right. We've got a great guest next week, the Curly Cultivators.
They're back. They are so awesome. I'll spread my praises on
They
them
get
next
me
week.
jazzed.
They do. They make gardening really fun, exciting. On here, we try to be like, hey, the show's part information, part inspiration. They do the same thing. They are very informational, but they're very inspirational. They make it fun, and they're going to stop in with us. We're going to have a nice long chat.
Yep.
Maybe might even have to be an extended episode, Austin.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll
but
see.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it might be a good one. So they're great. So we're going to have fun next week. Until then, garden friends, I got to get back in my garden. I got to get ready for more kids. Got to get that harvest going and eat some more food. To all those of you listening, please have a great week. Life is precious. Cultivate it. If you have someone you love or care about, give them a call. Let them know you care about them. It's important. Life's really precious. So get out there, like I said, and hopefully we can all cultivate some more of that precious life. Have a great week. Garden hard. Garden well. Happy gardening to you all. And please, never stop growing.
All right.
Woo!